Please like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hey now, it's your girl ChonitaNicole, and welcome to Do Dream On if you're new. And if you're already a dreamer, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. Okay, so today we are going to be going over Sublimation 101. But we'll also be going over just some general Q&A questions that I've been asked. Either in my Facebook group, Queen Dreamers, check that out, and join inbox, just general questions that I've been asked, okay? So that's what we're going to do. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. Okay, so I do have my handy dandy notebook that I actually created. I created this notebook myself, and it's kind of like my order book. Yeah. It lists my orders. Some notes. As well as some more orders. And I even added a little cheat sheet for my sizing in the back. Okay, so like I said, we're going to be going, I have my notes because just like I say, a little bit on track. And what we're going to be doing is just going over some questions. So bear with me. First disclaimer. I'm no pro. Let's not be mean. So if you want to be mean and you want to troll, you going somewhere. We all about peace and love over here, okay? I do not know everything. I do not proclaim to know everything. I'm literally just trying and starting and having fun. That's it. And I just want to help people along the way. So if you know a way that's better than my way, share it. We all could use the tips. Like I said, I'm not perfect. I'm new. I've just been doing this a couple months. Sharing is caring, y'all. Be nice and share it with me. I want to know. Okay, so don't bring that negative energy over here. All good, positive energy over here. Okay, so that's the disclaimer. So first we're going to start off, what is sublimation? Dye sublimation printing is a computer printing technique which uses heat to transfer dye into a material like fabric, polyester, mugs, tumblers, etc. The sublimation name was first applied because the dye was considered to make the transition between the solid and the gas stages without going through the liquid stage. Okay, so that's that. So that's what sublimation is. A lot of people are like, what are you using? All of that. Hopefully I'll get to your questions. I'm going to break things down and hopefully I get to the questions that you may have asked. Okay, so what do you need to start sublimation? People have asked me that, Chonita, what do you need to start sublimation? So you would need BKA subbing. I'll say sub and subbing. So that means sublimation. So just so you know. Okay, you need a sub printer, a sublimation printer. I'll go into these things in a little more detail later. So sublimation printer, sublimation ink, sublimation paper, butcher or craft paper. I'll explain that later. Heat tape, a heat press or a mug press or a convection oven, depending on what you're sublimating. Heat resistant gloves. I got to get my pink ones. I asked somebody for pink ones and they told me on Amazon. So I have to get my pink heat resistant gloves. Blanks to sublimate on, to sub on. I'll explain what those are later. Heat pillows. Lint roller of your choice, of your liking, and alcohol, and I'll explain that later as well. So those are some of the basic things that you'll be needing, and not liquor alcohol, rubbing alcohol. I saw y'all out there, but if you want a little bit of wine, I say wine, you want a little bit of wine, you could get that too. That's your preference, okay? You will need a computer. I use my laptop, my MacBook Pro, and this actually kind of matched my background. But anywho, this is what I use. Some people use the Mac's desktop, HP. The printing for sublimation, your settings would be different if you're using a Mac and an HP. So just so you know, so that would be different. You need a computer program. Some people use a Cricut, a Silhouette, Photoshop, Affinity, Illustrator, etc. So you'll need something to print it out on. So those are just the basics of what you'll need, okay? Y'all with me now? If you know anything else you might need, go ahead and add that. Because this is my sublimation printer. So my Epson Workforce 7720 series, I have it set on a preset. So every time I come in here and I'm printing 8.5 by 11, I use Poppin' Colors 1. This is what my preset is. You can play around to see what works best for you and your machine. Like I said before, your computer. If you're using an HP, these may not work for you. You'll have different settings. One thing you also want to do is make sure that your Epson has all of its correct drives. If they do not have the correct drives, you will not see these options, okay? So you can, if you don't know how to do it, call Epson. They'll help you to download the drives. You can go to the Epson website and then you can download the drives. So if you don't see this color matching, paper handling, all these settings, you do not have the correct drives for your specific printer. Okay, so my color matching is on Color Sync, Epson IJ Printer 07. You see there's other options. This is what mine is on. Paper handling, I left that the same. Cover page, I left that on default the same. My print settings. So this is how you can play around to see what setting works best for you. You can do auto select. You can do premium presentation paper matte. You can play around to see what works better. Some people use high quality plain paper, bright white paper. It depends on what you're printing, and you can play around to see the different things with that. What this does is this determines the amount of ink that'll be on your paper. So when you're printing, you may need more ink, so heavier ink for one and lighter ink for something else. So that's how you play around to see what settings work for you. Because you see, this is my Poppin' Colors 1, but my Poppin' Colors 2, you see my print quality is best quality for this one, but for 1, it's normal. Best quality can actually put sometimes too much ink on the paper. It takes more time to dry, and then it may not come out right. So it depends on what you're looking for. That's why you have to play around with it yourself. We can give you like a little bit, but you have to kind of figure out what works best for you. Okay, my print quality for this one is normal, and this is what I use the most. All right, so color options, I let that do what it does. It was default. I didn't change this. And then my supply levels just show how much ink and different things you may have. Okay. So back to my print settings. You see I have mirror image check. When you sublimate, you have to mirror the images, especially if it's words or something. If you do not mirror it when it prints out, because of how you have to press the paper down, it won't be the correct side. Okay, so I have this automatically checked so that when I print it, I don't have to always go to mirror image. So if I was in if I was in Cricut, you know how it shows print image, I don't have to do that. Okay, mirror image, I don't have to do that because I already have it set. All right, so this is for my 8.5 by 11. I have Poppin' Colors for cassette 2. On my cassette 2, you see, I'm gonna go through everything just so you can see it. Now my print settings, you see the paper sources cassette 2. I have the Workforce 7720. That means I have 2 different cassette tapes where I can make them larger or smaller. If you have it, you know what I'm talking about. My media type is plain paper, bright white paper. And that's because, look, you see how those are grayed out? I can't click the matte or matte, however you pronounce it. I can't click the matte. So I have to do either high quality or plain paper, bright white paper, or these options. So those are the ones I chose because that looks better for me and what I want. My quality, draft, normal, fine. Mine is on quality. And my mirror image is checked. So anytime I print out of Silhouette Studio or Cricut Design Space, these are already my presets. You can play around with it and create however many presets that you want, whatever works best for you. Okay. Okay, so let's dive in. So for the printer, I personally have an Epson Workforce 7720. You could also use a 7710. You can use a Epson Sawgrass. There are a lot of different printers. My printer, I had to convert it. I have a video on that. So check that video out, how I converted my Epson 7720. If you have one, or if you get one, you can know how to convert it. You can Google your particular printer. So I want you to Google what printer or you're thinking about. If you already have one, if you want to know if you can convert it, you can Google it, okay? Sublimation paper. I started off using Asub paper. I got it from Amazon. And I used the 105G for 11 by 17. It turned out good. I used the 120 and the 125. The 125 gave me those wheels that people talk about. So I tried a new one. I actually tried several different ones. I tried Printer's Jack. That didn't work out well for me either. But I found this, and I did a video on this called TexPrint. I got this from Heat Press Nation. This the one, y'all. This is my favorite one. So this is what I use currently. Okay, so this is the paper. And it looks like printer paper, but just a little bit different. Print, it's just this. I don't know if you can see the, yeah, there we go. So this is the sub paper that I use. Okay. I use, for my ink, Cosmos ink. So for my ink, I use Cosmos ink. Cosmos ink. They have a Facebook group. You can check them out. They also have a YouTube. So shout out to Cosmos ink. It's vibrant. It's the bomb. I love it. This is the only ink I've used so far, and it's been working well. You can see my products and different things with the ink that I've been using. So now I'm going to dive into what blanks are. Blanks are the items that you sublimate on. So here is a tumbler blank, okay? And here is after I sublimated on the blank. Okay, so here's a tumbler, and here's after I sublimate on it. So this is how it looks. You will wrap that paper around the blank. You will print it out. You will wrap the paper around it really, really tight. You will use the heat tape. Which I purchased on Amazon, and then I purchased this on Amazon as well. You use the heat tape. And then you would use, I have a video describing all of this. Give me a second. And then you would tighten it up with this is Dollar Tree, Dollar Store painter's tape. So that's how, and I put this in a convection oven. So that's how I did this. So this is a blank. So you would need blanks for different things you're going to be doing. I'm going to show you for your other blanks. Here's a blank. And I'm going to tell you where I get them from. Here's another blank. Here is a mug that I sublimated on my heat press. My mug heat press, I'll tell you about that. Another mug. Here are some Christmas ornament blanks. Here's another mug. Inside of it are more Christmas ornament blanks. Here is a puzzle blank. These are t-shirts by Cricut. Okay, these are blanks. Here's a picture frame before and after. Okay, blanks. They're blank. Here are stockings, blanks. You can sublimate on the sequin side. These are keychains. Where is my blank mouse pad? Here's a blank mouse pad. Then this is after I sublimated on it. And I'm going to explain a couple things. So just bear with me. Couple last things I will show you. Some bonnets. Okay, so these are what blanks are. Oh, just to show you the shirt. Oh, I got a couple more blanks. Here's some cosmetic bags. And here's, shout out to my mama. She does Color Street, Sassy Cyan Nails. Google her. So this is after. I hate when people do it the other way around. These are blanks. These are pillows, blank. And then these are some of the shirts. Cricket shirt brand is my favorite. You could get shirts off Jiffy, all other places. When you're sublimating on shirts or material, it has to be either white or a light pastel color. You cannot sublimate on dark black just regularly. It will have to be either white glitter vinyl or easy subline, which I haven't used that yet, but you can Google that. So you want to make sure that when you're getting shirts, even if it's 100% polyester, if it's black, that won't work. Okay, so you want to make sure it's lighter colors. Just because a lot of people say, what can you sub on? And it's a lot more. Where you can get the sub and where you can get the blanks and what the blanks have to be, I'm going to explain that next. So, for the shirts, they have to be a polyester material. So, the more polyester, the more vibrant, and the more that it'll actually, the dye will actually sublimate into the actual material. So you want to go with 100. Some people has went as low as 65%, and some even went lower. But once you wash it, it will be a difference. So you want to make sure that you get as close to 100% polyester as possible. Now, you can sub on satin too, because these are actually satin. So, where do you purchase these blanks? I purchased a ton of different places. Etsy. I purchased a ton of different things on Etsy. I try things out. That's one thing that you want to do is try and test things out and see what works for you. What works for you may not work for me. What works for me may not work for you. So, you want to go ahead and try Etsy, a place called Sublimation J's, a place called Blanks Galore, Heat Press Nation, Blings and Blanks Wholesale. You can search buy-in groups on Facebook. So literally search the word buy-in and you can get in those groups and they have sublimations. Amazon, be very careful on Amazon. When you search Amazon, a lot of things will come up and then some things won't be really sublimation. So make sure you check out the reviews. Always check out the reviews wherever you purchase things. But make sure, especially on Amazon, you check out the reviews because they'll sell you a regular tumbler and say it's sublimation. And then it won't come out right and you'll be confused or it'll burn, it'll mess up. So you want to be sure about that. Okay? And Google, try things out. See if you know people that already do sublimation, watch videos, ask them, look up under them, check that out. Okay? So that's in regards to that. So we went over, I told you I have my notebook so I can make sure I go over some things. Butcher paper, you can use butcher or craft paper. I actually purchased my butcher paper from Amazon. And I bought this nifty thing here by Brico Goods. That actually, you can tear it off. So I purchased that. But people have bought it from Sam's Club, Costco, all types of things. So you can search around and find it. Like I said, there's more than one way to skin a cat. So just because I do something one way doesn't mean that'll work for you. Told you about the heat tape. That was from Amazon. My heat press. My heat press is from Amazon. It is Fancier Studio. It's a 12 by 12. But don't fret, my pet. I'm going to be getting a new one soon. So I'm putting that out there in the universe. I'm going to be getting me a larger heat press. I also have the Cricut heat press as well. For my mugs, I have a heat press from Heat Press Nation. It's a mug heat press, the signature. For my tumblers or mugs, because you can use them for both, I have a convection oven, Oyster XL, and mine is at the French doors. It's the one that comes down. It works perfectly. People also use air fryers for their mugs and tumblers and different things. I've not done that yet, but like I said, different strokes for different folks. Okay. My heat resistant gloves, those came from Amazon. Told you about the blanks. Oh, pillows. I received a bundle of pillows from Amazon. You want to make sure that, I'm dropping something. You want to make sure you use these. These are everything, okay, guys? These will help your sublimations items smooth. You won't have those wrinkles. You can actually sublimate everything. So invest in these if you haven't already. Trust me, it's worth it. Okay. All right. So those are the items that I have. If you know of any other things that may be wonderful to you. Oh, my lint. I went over the lint brush already, right? The lint brush. Okay. Trying to stay on task, y'all. And excuse me if I'm looking different, because I see myself when I look this way, but the camera is right there. So excuse me if I'm looking cross-eyed sometimes. Excuse me. And no offense to anybody. That's just how my eyes may look. No offense. I promise. Okay, let me make sure. Okay, so just some general tips that I have. The machines that I have a Cricut maker. You can print out of different machines, but I have the Cricut maker. I also have the Silhouette Cameo 4. You guys, I haven't dived into that one yet, but stay tuned because I will be doing videos on that. I typically receive the Silhouette in the beginning so that I can print larger, because if you don't know, you can't print and cut that large in Cricut. Okay, so I use the Silhouette for that, but I just purchased the business edition. From Blooming For You on Etsy for $67.16 when originally it's $99. So check her out on Etsy, Blooming For You. I could even put her link below so that you can get that discounted price. You can read the information about her and see how you get that price. So I just purchased that. So now I have the business edition. I'll be able to do more in Silhouette. Okay. So like I said, I have the Cricut maker. I have the Silhouette Cameo 4 with the business edition. I have the Fancier Studio Heat Press 12 by 12, but I'm going to be upgrading soon. Apple MacBook Pro for my lamination. Remember, I told you I'm not just going to be doing sublimation. I'm going to be answering some general questions, so bear with me. For my books and my journals that I made, I use the cinch machine. I have a laminator machine. I have just a cut. I got this from Amazon. I may get a different one, but this I used to just cut my papers. I cut vinyl with this too. I cut all types of stuff with that. Couple other things I use for my t-shirts. I have a t-shirt placement. Y'all see my light ring back there? This is by TamsSweetLife.com. But a lot of people are making these now. I have 2 T-rulers when I'm measuring things. If you guys follow me, you know I'm OCD and a perfectionist. So yeah, and then I have a regular measuring ruler that I use as well. And I have the roll measuring tape. I have different things that I use. Yeah. I think I went over all of the things that I use. If not, I'll either voice over or add it when I'm editing this. So those are things I use. A couple tips that I have just for general crafting. Okay, so a couple tips I have just for general crafting. Make sure that you take your time. Give yourself grace. Be patient with yourself. Do not work when you're tired. Don't do it. Go to sleep. Start back over the next day because you'll mess up a whole lot. It's okay to mess up because we're just learning, right? So in life, you mess up. So you see, when I do my tutorials, I mess up all the time and I keep it in there because I'm not perfect. I don't claim to be. I don't know it all. I don't claim to know it all. So don't be so hard on yourself. Purchase multiple items. So let's say you're doing some t-shirts and you need a size of red medium. If you don't have a ton of those, get about 2 or 3 red mediums. So just in case you make a mistake, it won't be 3 o'clock in the morning and you make a mistake and somebody's supposed to pick their shirt up or something the next day. Same for mugs, tumblers. Give yourself room for error, for growth, human error, so you won't just have one and then it's messed up and now you don't know what to do. So buy multiple items. I've been there. I've done that. Or the items may have like a hole or something in it. So you do, and you didn't mess up, but you didn't check the item. So before you purchase shirts and hoodies and different things, or even other, well, blanks, if you're ordering them off somewhere, you can't. But before you actually start working on it, check and make sure. Also use your lint roller for your shirts, your hoodies, your mouse pads. Use your lint roller for everything because you don't want the little lint to be on there. It can mess up everything. And if it's for tumblers or mugs, use alcohol wipes pads, wipe it down so that you can make sure that it's all clean and there's nothing on there. Make sure it dries before you put the paper on there or you'll mess that up as well. But you just want to make sure you're cleaning your items, make sure no lint or dust or anything is on there. Because you see lint is everywhere, even while I'm talking, just because of light, lint's everywhere. So just make sure no lint is on your items. When you're using your cutting machines, the Cricut as well as the Silhouette, if you have a ring light or another light, put it near it because I'm not sure. Have you guys ever printed something and it didn't print right? And you're like, I don't get it. It needs more light. Even though there's a light built in, that light is not enough majority of the time. I've used my flashlight before too on my phone, cell phone, or a regular flashlight. Put it on there so that it won't mess, so that it can actually see the cut so it won't mess it up. Because now you done messed up your paper or whatever you're using. For transfers, I use Jet Opaque 2 for dark colors. People have asked me that before. If you don't know what that is, comment below. Join my group. I'll explain what that is. I'm trying to think of questions that people have previously asked. Learn your cutting machines. Every cutting machine is different. The Silhouette and the Cricut are different. They can do different things. Learn your machines. Research, invest in yourself, take some classes, watch some tutorials, and watch them all. Don't just skip and scan through, because somebody may say one thing that is your question, then you ask them. And it's like, did you watch the video? Make sure you watch it and research and put in the time. I put a lot of research and figuring out how to do these things, and I'm still learning. So make sure you do that. Oh, make sure you read directions. Okay, 2 things. Well, a couple things. Vinyl is different. Someone asked me, is permanent vinyl the same as HTV? No, it is not. HTV is for heat transfer. So if you're putting it on something that can accept the heat and you may need your heat press, etc. Permanent vinyl, you do not put it on heat, and you don't put permanent vinyl on shirts. Also, for heat transfer vinyl, you want to make sure that you're checking if it's a hot peel or a cool peel. Meaning that once it's hot, you can peel it off, or you have to wait for it to cool down and peel it off. If you don't, you can mess your items up. So make sure that you know which one is which. Read the directions. Read the directions for your sublimation. Some things, typically sublimation settings are either 385 to 400 for 60 seconds. Typically, standard, right? But it could be longer, it could be shorter, it could be hotter, it could be cool. So make sure you're reading for your specific items. Every item is not the same. And make sure that you're reading from where you're purchasing it, because you may find some tumblers that need it hotter or cooler, depending on the sealant that's on it. So what makes those blanks work is that it's a coat around those mugs. So you can't just go to Dollar Tree and get a mug, because you'll burn them, or you'll burn the tumblers. Like, you can't just go anywhere to get the blanks. You have to make sure they're real sublimation blanks. The heat tape, some people say that the yellow messes their items up. It's not messing any of my items up. Fingers crossed, hopefully it never will. So some people use clear or this light blue. So play around. It could be that person's heat press. So everybody, it could be that person's shirt. So make sure that you don't just take one person's word for gold. For instance, remember I said I use Asub paper, then I found TexPrint. If I never would have tried it, I never would have found out TexPrint is better. So play around with it. If you have the money to play around with it, play around with it. Order new things, try different things, see what works well for you and what your preference is. Oh, also some things need different pressure. If you play with your heat press, you'll be able to see you can make things lighter or harder. So make sure that you know the pressure. Sometimes things need medium, hard, or soft press for it to press correctly. Yeah, I think that's it. So for right now, oh, nope, it's not it. When you're doing your shirts, your placement of your shirts, Google sizing charts. I Googled this one, and it's just a regular one. I could make my own if I wanted to, but I Googled it and I just printed it out and put it in the back of my book. But this one, it shows you for every type of item. It shows you the placement for the necks, for the size, if it's higher. It breaks it down. You can Google and search different sizing charts because you don't want something that's too close or too far away or just where it looks unprofessional or it looks like someone made it. When I make things, I want it to look like you purchased it at a store. So make sure that you're checking out your sizing charts. Make sure you're reading directions. Make sure you're just paying attention to things. I also just bought the shot box. I'll show you what that is. Not today, but I'll do a video on that. I bought that. It's by We Are Memory Keepers. I bought it from Michael's the other day. So I'm going to try that out, and I'll put some of my mugs and things in there. So it'll be a video about that. I hope that was everything. Probably missed some things, but if I did, ask me some more questions. I could do another one of these again. But some of the general questions people have been asking me, I know I hit some of those, but hopefully I hit enough. So if you guys have any questions, concerns, just let me know. Once again, be kind, show love in the comments, show tips in the comments. Oh, like for example, for permanent vinyl, someone told me that you flip it over, and when you're moving from the transfer tape, you flip it over, turn it upside down, and peel it backwards. That helped me, so thank you for that. Just if you know some tips, let me know. Like I said, I'm just trying this out and I'm new, so just let me know. I hope I answered some of your questions. Ask some more questions. Oh, before I leave, I asked in Queen Dreamers, which is my Facebook group, join. What tips will you give to a new business owner or new crafter? And here are a few that people said. Just do it. Stop being scared. Separate your business money from your personal money. If you build it, they will come. Don't worry about who supports you. And don't post about your family and friends not supporting you first. They don't have to. They just do the work and it'll speak for itself. So basically, nobody has to support you. Just do the work. It'll speak for itself. Be honest with your clients. If something happens, tell them you're human in a small business. You are not Amazon. Research. Stop expecting people to give you everything. Do the work. Never give up. Believe in yourself. Have fun. Ask questions and respect people if they give you boundaries. Someone said, make sure you get organized with your business and get your articles, EIN, DBA, LLC, S Corp. Don't purchase the most expensive items because you're just starting out. Research your craft. Don't wait for everything to be perfect. You'll never launch your business if you wait for everything to be perfect. Know your worth. If a new potential client doesn't want to pay for your services or products, move on and know that others will value you. Work harder for yourself than you do and that you would for somebody else. Put the time in. Yep, so that was a few things that people in the group said. Like I said, join the group, share, and join the dreamers. Okay, so that was just some tips that some of the people in the group gave. Please, thank you so much for taking your time out to watch me, to follow me, to subscribe. So subscribe, hit that bell to be notified when I upload other things. And you guys be safe out there. I appreciate you guys. I love y'all dreamers. I do. I really do. So anywho, I hope that I helped you in any way. And you guys be safe. And show love. Spread love. Bye, guys. Bye. Thank you for your time. Please like, share, and subscribe. Bye.